day, everyone, especially to our professor, Dr. Will Loibor. I am your reporter today. I am Beverly Esguerra, and I am going to report about Chapter 8. The outline of my report is Introduction to Sociological Foundation of Education with its subtopic, the definition and significance of sociological perspective in education. I have also the objectives and the discussion. Right after that is the conclusions and then the activity. The general objectives of my topic are the following. First, we have to define and explain sociological foundation of education and its key concepts. Next, to describe the relationship between sociology and education. And next is to determine the key aspects of sociological perspective in education. So these are my general objectives of my report. What is the relationship of sociological foundation to education? Sociological foundations are concerned with the human relations, factor the behavior of individuals and their relations to each other. What do we mean by sociology? Okay, the term sociology is derived from the Latin socius, which means social or being with others, and the Greek logos, which means study. Therefore, the term sociology basically means the study of social beings. In other words, sociology is the science of society and the social interactions taking place within it. Therefore, sociology means the study of society or the study of social relationships. Sociology is the study of human social life. Its subject matter ranges from the micro level to the macro level. When we talk about microsociology, it involves the study of people in face-to-face interaction. This focuses on small-scale interactions. It studies how people or individuals communicate, how teacher expectations influence students, and how labeling can affect self-identity. So that is microsociology. In macrosociology, it involves the study of widespread processes. As you can see in the picture, there are more people now. This looks at the large-scale social systems such as government policies, economic systems, and education systems, and social structures. Examine how these systems shape people's lives. But perspectives are important because individual experiences are influenced by larger scale of social. Definitions of sociology. So there are three persons states about sociology. First, we have Kingsley Davis, which tells sociology is a general science of study. Okay, this means that um, he emphasized the sociology looks at society in a broad, comprehensive way. It does not focus only on individual but examines how different parts of society, such as family, education, religion, government, and economy, are connected and function together. We have next is Anthony Giddens. Says sociology is the study of human social life, groups of society. This means that sociology explores how people behave in groups, how social norms influence behavior, and how institutions shape our daily lives. For example, school does not only teach academic knowledge, they also teach discipline, values, cooperation, and respect for authority. So these are social processes studied in sociology, which according to Anthony Giddens. Next, we have Rubens. According to Rubens, sociology is the study of relationships of human with social, physical, biological, and cultural aspects, which he explains that studies in relationship of humans with social, physical, biological, and cultural aspects. This shows that sociology is interdisciplinary. Human behavior is influenced not only by society but also by environment, biology, and cultural traditions. Sociology tries to understand how these factors interact. So these are the three persons state about sociology. These are Kingsley Davis, Anthony Giddens, and Roman. Nature of sociology. Auguste Comte, a French social thinker, traditionally known as father of sociology, in his book Cours de Philosophie, wrote the nature of philosophy as okay. The contribution of Auguste Comte, known as the father of sociology, was very important in making sociology a scientific discipline. In his course of positive philosophy, he proposed that society should be studied using scientific methods similar to those used in natural sciences. So first we have sociology is a humanistic science. What does it mean? So it focuses on human welfare, social relationships, and social improvement. It aims to understand social problems such as poverty, inequality, and discrimination in order to find solutions. So that is the sociology as a humanistic science. So next we have sociology is a positive science. Um, Comte introduced positivism, which means knowledge should be based in facts, observation, and scientific evidence rather than speculation. So we have next is sociology as empirical science. Means sociology gather data through surveys, interviews, observations, and research. They rely on evidence, not just opinion. So that is empirical science, no real evidence based, not just an opinion. Next, we have dynamic science. Society is constantly changing due to technology, globalization, education, and cultural shifts. So, sociology studies these changes and their effects on people and institutions. Of course, we have sociology as a science. Okay, relationship between sociology and education. Sociology and education are two branches of knowledge concerned with man and his life and are intimately related. So the bridge of sociology and education is probably sociology of education, a recently emerged branch of sociology. So sociology of education examines how social forces, institutions, and relationships affect educational processes and outcomes. It helps understand the role of school in maintaining, promoting social changes, and shaping individuals. Okay, the foundation of this field was influenced by thinkers like Emily Durkheim, who emphasized that education plays a crucial role in maintaining social solidarity and transmitting shared values. He needs to study sociology of education. So it helps in understanding. Okay, how sociology helps us understand education. First, we have work of school and teachers and its relation with society and social progress and development. This emphasize that schools and teachers are not isolated. They reflect society values, goals, and needs. Teachers help shape students not only academically but socially and morally. Understanding this relationship allows education to contribute to social progress and development, like reducing inequality or promoting civic responsibility. Example of this is teaching environmental awareness in school reflects society growing concern about climate change. So that is work of school and teachers. Next, we have effect of social element from the working of school and society. So this means that social elements include, so sabi to, this include family, peer groups, communities, and cultural norms. These elements influence how school function, and how students behave. Sociology helps identify challenges like poverty, discrimination, or peer pressure, which affect learning outcomes. Example of this is the student from disadvantaged background may need extra support to succeed in school. So we have next, the third one, effect of social elements on life, on the life of individuals. Some social factors also impact individual directly, shaping their attitudes, ambitions, and identity. Understanding this helps teachers provide better guidance and support to students. Example, cultural values can influence students' career choices or study habits. The next one is we have construction of curriculum in relation and economic needs. This means that sociology guides curriculum design to make education relevant to society. School should teach skills that meet economic needs. Example of that is the STEM skills for technology jobs. And preserve, of course, the cultural values like history and language, art, etc. Example of this is a country with a growing tech industry might include coding classes while still teaching traditional culture to maintain identity. Next one is demographic ideologies in different countries, which means education system reflect the population culture and ideologies of the country. Understanding demographic helps tailor education to meet social needs like teaching multilingual students in diverse countries. Example of this is multicultural nations. School may teach multiple languages or cultural studies to promote inclusion. Next, we have, okay, these are the social elements, no? One is composed of norms, symbols, values, and language. So these are the social norms, social elements in mean. Another understanding is to need of promoting the international culture. It means that in globalized world, students must understand different cultures and values. Sociology of education helps students teach international awareness, cooperation, and respect. This promotes peace, tolerance, and global citizenship. Example, including global history, multicultural projects, or even language exchange program in the curriculum. Next, we have need of promoting the social adjustment. It means that schools help students adapt the society by teaching social skills, norms, and values. Social adjustment ensures students can cooperate, communicate, and live harmoniously with others. Examples is group activities, debates, or peer mentoring program help students learn teamwork and conflict resolution. We have a need of transmitting culture and tradition, which means that education passes down cultural knowledge, belief, and traditions from one generation to the next. This ensures continuity of language, customs, and moral values and social norms. Example of this is teaching local history, tradition arts, and cultural festival in school. Here in our province, we teach our different festivals in each municipality. So next is development of social through rules and regulations. Schools teach citizens how society works, including laws, ethics, and social responsibilities. Understanding social rules helps students participate actively in social and civic life. Example, civic lessons, student councils, and community service projects. Next is the effect of social group on individuals, their interrelation and dynamic on individuals. So students are influenced by family, friends, peers, and communities. Sociology helps educators understand these social dynamics and how they affect behavior, learning, and personal development. Example of this is peer pressure or positive mentorship can impact motivation, study habits, and self-esteem. Next, we have sociological perspective in education. Okay, um, sociological perspective in education is significant for analyzing schools as social systems that shape behavior, transmit cultural values, and influence social, gender, and class inequalities. It highlights how social interactions, teacher expectations, and institutional structures impact student performance and reproduce a societal norms. So the role of education. We know that education plays a very important role in the life. Education is teaching, learning, skills, and knowledge. Education encourages people to solve easily problems in their life. By being educated, they will motivated and make many change. Okay. So these are the key aspects of sociological perspective in education. It includes understanding socialization and norms. Education acts as a primary agent of socialization, teaching norms, values, and skills necessary for societal function, such as respect for authority, competition, and punctuality. So as you can see in the picture, no, it describes what is understanding, socialization, and norm. Example of this is participating in a classroom group project. Teaches teamwork, patience, and cooperation. So that these are the key social skills for life outside school. In short, understanding socialization and norm shows that school do not more than teach academics. They shape students into socially responsibly and competent members of the society. Yeah, that's true. Understanding social norm, socialization and norms. Next, we have analyzing social inequalities. That is a conflict theory. This is a conflict theory. The perspective exposes how school system can perpetuate inequality based on race, class, and gender through unequal resources, hidden curriculum, and tracking. So as you can see in the picture, it shows this is a theory of conflict. No? Um, Example for this is imagine two students. Okay, student A or student one from a wealthy urban family goes to a private school, has access to tutors, computers, and extracurricular activities because they are wealthy, they are rich, they can afford to have a private tutor, and they can join any kind of extracurricular because they are rich, they're wealthy. While the student B from a poor family or in a rural family goes to underfunded school with few textbook and large classes. Even if both students are equally smart, student A has a higher chance of academic success because society inequalities are reflected in the education system. So that is analyzing social inequality, no conflict theory. So as in the example, both students have smart, but student A dominates than student B because of the ingan ta sa real life situation, no? The student A is from a wealthy family, while the student B is from the poor family. So next we have examining classroom interaction, or it is interactionism. It explores how daily social interactions, teacher expectations, and labeling. This is a Pygmalion effect, influence students' self-concept and academic achievement. An example of this is uh, a teacher believes that Maria is very smart. Because of this, the teacher gives her more attention, encourage her to answer questions, and praises her work. So in that way, Maria feel confident and studies harder. By the end of the term, Maria performed better than expected. This showed the Pygmalion effect. Teacher expectation influence student performance through everyday interaction. So this Pygmalion effect is on teacher on how to interact with his or her student. So that student served as his or her motivation because the teacher believed that he can do that. So that is examining classroom interaction or the interactionism. So you as teacher, ngana ba ka? You perform the Pygmalion effect in your classroom. So this serve in your student as motivation also to to be better learners and better individual as well. So we have we have functional role of education or functionalism. It explains how schools serve society by fostering social integration, promoting social placement, and fostering innovation. Example of this is the school teach students how to read, write, and solve problems. So we can say that in our school we teach students how to read, write, and solve problems. They also teach values like honesty, discipline, and cooperation. Yes, it is very important, not just the academic, but also the values of our students. By doing this, students learn the skills of behavior needed to work, live together, and contribute to society. So this is a functional rule of education, of the integration of values, because this is very important when you are now outside in the school. This you can adapt, you can apply that one by communicating with others, by doing what is good or bad, by identifying them that is good or even that is bad. So that is functional rule of education. So that is functionalism. The next one is cultural transmission, meaning schools serve as crucial institution for passing down knowledge and societal values from one generation to the next. Example of this in school. Students learn about their country's history, traditions, and festivals. They also learn languages, moral values, and social rules. This way, the knowledge, cultural values of one generation are passed to the next. In short, school helps preserve culture and teach students how to be part of the society. Yes, this is very true. No, the school serve as institution for passing the knowledge to our learners, not just the academic, but also the social life, our culture, our traditions, we need to pass this, and the student also know what are the cultures and history of our society. That is very important as part of the learning of our learners. Okay, in conclusion, understanding the sociological foundation of education allows us to see how education is not just a process of learning academic knowledge, but also a social institution that shapes individuals and society. By examining education through a sociological perspective, we recognize its role in transmitting culture, promoting social integration, and addressing inequalities. So the significance of sociological perspective lies in its ability to help educators, policymakers, and learners understand the deeper social functions and impacts of schooling, ensuring that education contributes meaningfully to personal growth and societal development. Okay, so that is very important, not just the knowledge we gain in our school, but also the social factors that serve us to be a better individual in our society. That is the most important factor in our life, to become a better person in a society, and to be share your good deeds to others also. So that is about my report, and the activity to be answered will be given this coming Saturday. So watch out for my activity. I will be post it in our GC. And thank you very much for listening my topic, which is about the chapter 8. So good day everyone, and goodbye.